Are you looking for a fun way to win up to 25 times your money this football and basketball season? Test your skills on Prize Picks, the most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. Just select 2 or more players, pick more or less on their projections for a wide variety of stats, and place your entry. It's as easy as that. If you have the skills, you can turn $10 into $250 with just a few taps. Easy gameplay, quick withdrawals, and injury insurance on your picks are what makes Prize Picks the #1 daily fantasy sports app. Ready to test your skills? Join the Prize Picks community of more than 7 million players who have already signed up. Right now, Prize Picks will match your first deposit up to $100. Just visit prizepicks.com/BlueWire and use code BlueWire. That's code BlueWire at prizepicks.com/BlueWire for a first deposit match of up to $100. Prize Picks, daily fantasy sports made easy.
Today's episode is brought to you by Cars.com. With over 2 million vehicles and 50,000 more added every day, Cars.com will match you with the perfect car for you, your budget, your life, your style. And if you're ready to say goodbye to your current car, Cars.com will get you an instant offer to cash it in. Just start by entering your license plate and get matched with a local dealer who will write you the check. So whether you're looking to buy or sell, just go to Cars.com. It's magical.
Hello, friends. Welcome to Mavs Party. You are joining me a little before 10:30 on Thursday, October 27th. Thanks so much for deciding to hang out after the game here. I apologize for the screwy audio last time. I did not realize that I was not speaking loud enough until after I had put it up for recording. So let me know in the chat there if you can actually hear me okay. That would help me out a little bit. And you know the drill here. Let's come up on stage and talk about what is going on with the Mavs, what you're thinking about the win. As I just finished recording with Josh Bowe, and I had really 2 takeaways. First takeaway, Luka Doncic, good. Really impressed with how he continued to take the ball at the basket, only took 6 threes tonight instead of 13. And took 22 2-point shots. The other takeaway that I had was I really did enjoy the Josh Green stint. I felt that he was getting the kind of looks that Dorian Finney-Smith was getting last year, like these wide open corner looks based off of Luka driving to the hoop. And the defense decided that they were going to live with Josh Green taking those shots. He made all 3. And in a 4-point victory, every single one of those points mattered. I also thought he played pretty nice defense on Kyrie Irving. 13 minutes, 3 shots. It's the sort of thing I hope to see if they can get Green involved more regularly. He has to have the willingness to take a couple of those shots. He still passed up one that I thought he could have made, but he's not going to play perfect. But those were kind of like my main takeaways. Otherwise, this game was weird. The Nets are a mess. And yeah, he did get hurt, Robbie. He seemed to sprain his ankle. It didn't seem to be anything too serious, more of a there weren't really minutes for him down the stretch anyways with who they're playing, but it was a fun game. It's kind of a strange game, like superstar laden. You got Luka scoring 41, Durant scoring 37, Kyrie scoring 39. Christian Wood didn't play very much, kind of got into foul trouble. And then I'm sure we'll hear in post game how, it's just him not playing in some of these minutes is more, and particularly down the stretch, is going to be a matter of trust, but I still don't know. Things got weird in the fourth quarter again. And in their 2 losses, things got weird. And then, and particularly kind of in the I want to say like the 10 to 4 minute mark in the fourth quarter. But the Mavericks pulled out of it. Luka really played a heck of a basketball game. I don't know. I enjoyed myself. So you guys know the drill, but remember, if you're coming in here and want to talk, click the speaker request button, look for your name. When I call your name, look for the green ring around your name. That'll help us the most. We're going to fly through some folks because honestly, I did a 90-minute one the other night, and it's too early in the year for me to be doing things like that. Okay. First I'm going to let my man Frank come up. How you doing, Frank?
Hey, you got me?
Hey, how are you?
Good. Hey, now I just wanted to say, if Reggie and Dorian are going to play 38 minutes and make 10 collective points between them, I think there is minutes for Josh to try to still what are your thoughts on that? They can't be so stubborn. He'll be stubborn like he was last year. J Kidd was stubborn with. They did this whole thing where they wanted to post up Dorian and do all kinds of wonky things that the Mavs have never done, and then obviously they cut that crap real quick. going back to Luka ball. But my question, do you agree with the notion that, there's 18, 22 minutes he can still or earn if, can we count on him to can we sit Reggie the way they sat Spencer tonight? If he's playing like crap, can they put Bullock on the bench and Josh will start earning some of those minutes?
I mean, there's no harm in trying it. I mean, these first 4 games, if we go back and we remember sort of what we've talked about since the schedule was released, these first 4 games did not really look good. And a 2-2 start is honestly, I'm okay with this. The 2 losses are the Mavericks' fault more than it is them getting beat by a better team. So I think if anything, we should be, kind of bullish. But I will say that what we've seen so far from Dorian is not ideal offensively. Defensively, I still think Dorian is very valuable, but he's not connecting on threes early, I think in no small part because he's not getting the airspace to launch them. He took the most, he was in top 5 on wide open threes last year, and guys are just staying home on him now. I don't know how you mix up the rotation to a degree. Generally speaking, I don't care for the Mavericks rotations because I feel it's like a lot of fits and starts. But kids talked about how he's going to let this play out for a while. He doesn't want to overreact to anything. I sort of disagree with that, but I'm not.
I kind of like it. I don't think he'll be as stubborn. I don't think he'll be as stubborn as he was last year. I think he'll pull the trigger a little quicker this year. I don't disagree with you, but I'm a little more friendly.
There's just some funky stuff going on. Like Spencer Dinwiddie with a -20 in 28 minutes is weird. And that happened last game too.
Yes, I heard.
Yeah, it's like they're in, small sample size theater. There's some funky stuff. It is what it is. I'd much rather them get the win and then walk away and talk about winning ugly than, starting the season 1-3 and us having a cow over this because we were in here the other night complaining about it. And really, they're a pretty good team that more beat themselves than lost, I think, both against the Suns and against
we're so close. We're so close to the elephant, though. If you look back and if you could find a way to take yourself out of your fandom shoes, we're scary, dude. We have wing depth. We're not deep. I don't want to say we're deep, but we do have some wing depth. We have shooters. We have role players. The caveat is we have role players who are not very versatile, but we have a little bit of everything. So we're pretty scary. And the first 4 games of the year scared me when I saw the schedule. We're 2-2. We got 5 on the road or 5 at home. But anyways, I'll dismount with this.
It's great.
And I'm going to end with this. Do you think we'll end up making a trade? It might not be blockbuster, but do you think we end up, this isn't even a question if we actually do sign Dragic or whatever, but since we don't have a guy who's not going to make me go gray, Dinwiddie's going to make me go gray with his gameplay, and I'm thinking we need another ball handler. Do you think that's – do you legit think that's something that they entertain or – and I'll hang up with that.
I think they have to. I mean, as fun as it is to watch Luka score 35 points a game, which is what he's averaging right now, I just don't know if that's sustainable for a year. I'd like to see him try. I think it'd be pretty fun. But it's tough. I also don't know how things are going to shake out because, we come to the season and you assume the good teams are bad and the bad teams are good. Like the Clippers just lost to Oklahoma City twice in a row. And the Jazz look like unstoppable force, type stuff. There's just weird things going on early in the year. And I don't know who's going to be because it's at a certain point, much earlier than in previous seasons, particularly since they added the play-in, some team is going to start tanking ruthlessly. And so there's going to be guys available. So I think that the Mavericks may look to do something, but as we've talked about for the entire summer, they don't really have a lot of things to trade. So, all right. It's a good question though. All right. We got a lot of people. So let's fly through it then. My man, Jordan, how are you, Jordan?
Hey, first time this season that I'm able to be on. So
welcome.
Just want to give a shout out to Josh Green because he was awesome. And so I'm, the Green believer. So I was pretty happy with that. The only thing that I have noticed is a pattern this year, and it started last year, but we seem to be doing even worse on it, is we let the refs control our momentum way more than we should. And Like, I don't know what the answer is to that, but it seems like it's not just Luka. Like, everybody blames Luka in the media about it, but it's everybody. Like, even Dorian and Reggie, and you could see Wood was getting into it, and Spencer. They just really, if a call does not go their way, it's like they mentally shut down for a few seconds.
I don't know if I've noticed that. I'm going to have to keep an eye out for it. I mean, the one who always stands out is Spencer Dinwiddie, who acts like he has somehow been accused of like a capital offense every time he commits a foul. Like, he throws, like, he's much more demonstrative than Luka. I don't know what the heck's going on there. But Jason says Spence is just a whiner. And yeah. Also, Tim, Jason Kidd seems to be wearing like blue light glasses. I don't know what those glasses are that he's wearing. Cracks me up. But I'm gonna have to look for that. That's interesting. I don't know if I've honestly tonight I wasn't like watching as closely. Like, half my household is like sort of sick, so it's like there's a lot of like running up and down the stairs type stuff. And I really didn't. I watched the second half closer than the first half. So
yeah, it just seems like we really just like mentally kind of almost shut down, or like we will compound mistakes whenever a call doesn't go our way. And there were some weird calls this game. Like, it felt like Wood got a lot of very soft calls against him. And so, like, I get it to a degree. And then, like, the whole, like, apparently it's not a flagrant if you hit a Mav in the back of the head, but if anybody else gets hit in the back of the head, that's flagrant.
I hate these flagrant calls where it's like an automatic tech when a guy gets hit in the head. I hate that stuff. So I didn't feel like I felt Maxey sort of sold it too. I understand though. It all, like, you hate to see.
Well, it's also O'Neal
like that.
After the history. Yeah. After the history with O'Neal, it is also a little rougher.
That's a good point. I didn't really think about that. Yeah, I mean, this one was like one where I'm glad they got the win. I'm glad that there's not a ton of like narrative stuff to talk about other than what we feel like forcing, because, you know, they play these next two. They play a series of games coming up that feel like trap games. and I hope that they play Thunder, Magic, or Utah. Toronto's going to be a bear. Then they play the Nets again at home. So it's like I don't know. This could be the month of November has a lot of games, but an opportunity for a lot of wins. So I really hope that the Mavericks come ready.
Yep. So I better head out and let other people speak. I've got to be at work in 5 hours. So
good luck, my friend. Thanks for hanging out late.
Right. See ya.
It's dedication. Hopping on. We got to go to work. Chris, what's up, guy?
All right. Can you hear me?
I can.
To quote the great Bart Followell, Timothy Dwayne Hardaway Jr. is his name. Us guys with Dwayne as our middle name got to stick together. Well, that was funny as hell when he said it in overtime.
Welcome back, Tim Hardaway. It's been 10 to 12 months since.
Yes, because I've been almost every. I mean, yeah, trust me, I've been kind of a Tim Hardaway Jr. hater here. Like,
well, we all have, because when Tim's bad, it's like, oh no, did you forget how to play basketball? But when Tim's good, it's like that. Or when he's just like on fire, like the shots look great tonight. So I was very pleased to see that for him.
You know what? And he's got some balls though. He shoots the ball though. He's not afraid. And I'm glad to see Josh Green at the same time, not just second guessing himself. He actually just, as soon as you get the ball, just shoot it, because you're going to get wide open shots with Luka attracting all the attention. So I know it's just one game, but this could be a confidence booster. This could be a rhythm thing, you know, get back on track. We're about to have a 5-game homestand against bad teams. I really feel like they might seem like trap games, and, you know, a lot of bad teams at the beginning of the year can come off it, you know, or they win games. It gets silly in the beginning of the season.
Well, when I say trap games, what I mean is that, and you could really sense this with Luka against New Orleans, none of those guys took New Orleans seriously, and that came back to bite them really quickly. And so I hope that these are games where the Mavericks come out and ready to get their work done early, so we can all watch the game, come in here and celebrate, and then go to bed, and not talk about how Paolo Banchero? Yeah. Not talk about how Paolo Banchero like ate the entire Mavs front line alive or something like that. You know?
We got to get some revenge on the Magic and the Thunder, because they've got some wins against us last year from what I remember. So
those were the two bad wins, and then they went on the road and beat the Nets and beat Boston, and it was like, wait, how is this happening?
Yeah.
What's going on?
But think about this. We played 4 games, 2 of the losses, 2 points, 1 point loss. I mean, we're in all of these games. We're not getting our ass kicked. We kicked Memphis ass like by 41 points. As long as we're hitting our open threes. Thing is, every single team we're playing, they know who the Mavs are. They've seen us go to the Western Conference Finals. We have a target on our back.
Sure.
Luka's got a target on his back, and he's just playing out of his fucking mind. He's going to be MVP this year. I love seeing this. Josh Green, I swear to God, if he could just do what he did tonight, I don't even care if he misses.
I want him to take the shots. I don't care if he misses them.
Exactly. Just take the shots. Yeah. And if you're playing really good on defense, great. Christian Wood, 61.5% from the three-point line this year. And it's just 3 games, but Jesus Christ, like every time he takes a three, I swear I always see him make it. So
Spencer's shooting 56% from 3. Like there's some crazy stuff going on right now.
Yeah.
Which makes the 2-and-2 element of this a little bit frustrating, but it is what it is.
Man, it could be much, much worse because it was the most Maverick thing. What happened at the end, it could have gone that way. Where we're up 8 with 45 seconds to go, and we almost gave it away. If Reggie would have missed that other free throw, you're talking about Kyrie Irving or Kevin Durant taking. They had plenty of time to make a 3. They didn't have a timeout, but I don't think they had a timeout, but they had plenty of time to take a 3. That would have been like double overtime, and you just don't want to blow a 41 point, maybe even more for Luka and just lose. It's just God, I would not want to go 1-3 and just go to bed on this, but.
I agree.
But yeah, last thing, just had a bad day. Like the dog died, had to put my dog down. So that picture that I have, I'm sorry, really been sad all day, but damn it, like just the Mavs. I mean, it just feels good to get a win. Just like the joy of it. Really took away a little bit of the pain and all, but it's been a rough day, but I'm just glad the Mavs pull out the win. It just made me feel a little bit better.
I understand that, man. I was like the first thing that pulled me out of a funk after my previous dog Grace died was like the Vince Carter 3 over the Spurs. Like I was at that game. I was like a walking zombie for like 3 weeks. And that game kind of pulled me back. So I do understand what you mean. Well, I'm glad you got to take a little relief from that. Sorry to hear about that. Damn, that makes me.
We just got to go on a winning streak, and I'll feel even better. But yeah, it never gets any easier. But yeah, I just let's just get on track here, get on a winning streak, and go Mavs.
All right, talk soon, Chris. Appreciate you coming up. All right, let's go to my man Harris. How we doing, Harris? Welcome back. Hit that mute button one more time. Give him a second to figure it out here. Yeah, come on, Chris. Get me in my feelings, making me think about dogs. Harris, you able to find the unmute button? If not, I'm going to boot you. All right. Try to come back up later. We'll figure it out. Let's go with Jason. First time, long time. Actually, you're not first time. You know what I mean. What's going on?
Doing good. That was an amazing. I feel like we didn't talk about this game at all. Luka was insane. I don't know what to say about it. Didn't have the 3 ball, but everything else is just, oh my God. And just the way he took over in overtime, it just.
Well, he took over.
They played 3 times in a row just to the top of the key. Oh my gosh!
Like driving, not just being like dribble, shoot. Like it was great, just like full display of skills.
Just amazing. I don't know. Like I feel like I don't know. It seems impossible Luka's not going to win the MVP, right?
I don't know, man. You see, have you seen that Giannis Antetokounmpo fellow? He's shooting 70% from
Giannis
2.
Is good. Yeah, Giannis is good, but I mean, if the Mavs win more than 50 games, I just don't see how Luka can't get it.
Sure, no. At that point, it becomes like a deserving thing. But I don't know. I hate the early MVP talk. I will say I do love how he's playing. I love that he's playing a little bit differently. The thing we're not really beating down the house about with him that we ought to be is the free throws. That man is an automatic free throws.
Gosh.
Like, do you remember like the adventures we used to have where it's like, okay, Luka, hit your damn free throws, shooting wasn't he like 65% in the playoffs for a while?
He was under 50% in the Clippers series. Under 50%. His 3-point shooting was better than his free throw shooting. It was insane.
Yeah. God. Wow. Wild. Well, I'm glad you're back. We also need you in here when we lose though, man, because you're especially angry upon losses. And that makes me laugh. We need that. So
I'm optimistic about this team. I think we're going to win 60 games this year. I don't know. I feel like we're going to go
games.
I think we're going to go on a roll. If Luka is this good every single game, we're just going to beat up on these horrible teams.
I just don't know if he can be this good every single game. Cause I feel like we're watching 2000. When was Kobe's bananas streak? Like it feels like that where he's just got, man, I love it though. I love the confidence.
And one last thing that I want to talk about. I think Tim Hardaway Jr. being out in the last couple minutes of that game, that was the correct decision. Christian Wood, I don't know, they just went small, had Maxey at the 5. It's just the formula that worked last year, and it worked defensively, I thought.
It's going to be interesting to see how that's received. He seemed happy on the bench. A win is a win. I just want him to have opportunities, and the way he scores is so easy. That's the part that they need. That they need the ease of his scoring. And
I just wonder, can he actually get those easy buckets late in the game when Luka's getting the ball for 20
they got it. Like, what about a Luka Wood pick and roll? I mean, it's like Luka ISO worked tonight, right? Because the Nets were switching everything. Luka ISO worked, so it is what it is. I'm not taking away from it. I just want there to be variety. And we've, like, Nekias Duncan put out that really good piece about how Luka Doncic and Wood are just going to destroy teams if they spam the pick and roll. The problem is they don't really do it much, at least as, not as much as I would have liked to have seen, if that makes sense.
I mean, I feel like this, I don't know. Maybe I'm giving Kid too much credit, but maybe they're saving.
See, I hate that saving it shit. Go win 60 games. That's how you win 60 games.
It doesn't make sense.
Beat the hell out of
it. Make them figure it out.
That's right. Well, Jason, you got anything else?
No, I'll get out of here. Let everyone else come on. But good win, guys. Good
Talk
win.
soon, buddy. Thanks. We're gonna give Harris another try here. See if he can figure out the audio. Nope, he turned it down. All right, I'm gonna bring up Harold. Then Harold also thinks we can win 60 games.
I'm just gonna have. Yeah, I was just sitting here looking through the internet, looking for Dallas Mavericks articles, and I heard the magic words 60 wins. And so my ears perked up, and I'm like, all right, I'll talk. I'll call in. So, yeah, 60 wins on its way. I don't have too much to say. I am really happy with the way Josh Green played. That is very promising. I do think that he has a future. So, and that's the important thing, is that he does play good enough defense, and I think he is going to keep hitting shots, and he's on the right team. He's on the right team with Luka Doncic, who can kick out some three-pointers to him, and I think he'll be a good player for us long term. But that's about it. I just wanted to point that out. I wanted to say 60 games. I want everybody to get all excited, and we're on our way.
Love it, man. Thanks for hanging out.
All right. Good night, Kirk.
All right. Coming up next, then, we have Ewan. Ewan wants to go to bed. He's on the East Coast. What's up, my friend?
Hey, what's up, Kirk?
Oh, just living the dream. I'm happy to be here after a win.
So I was going to ask you, what percentage at the 3-minute mark in the fourth quarter were we close to having a therapy session?
Oh, I was pissed.
Mavs Party.
I was pissed. And Josh Bowe pointed this out. It was 3:11. The Nets call a timeout. We're getting ready to go back to play, and Kid calls a timeout. And Josh says, and I've just never really thought about this, Josh Bowe says that Kid has been doing this when he has them, and he's done it probably 10 or 12 times that he remembers, where it completely, like, it just stops momentum, like, completely. It's almost like icing a kicker type thing. I'd never thought about it. And I was super pissed. I'm just like, guys, like, can we quit losing leads going, it was the Mavericks have been leading going in, I think, into every single fourth quarter. And it's like, how are we going to be 1-3 while winning going into every single fourth quarter? That is hard to do. And then they pulled it out. I was delighted.
Yeah, I know sometimes he uses timeouts because under 3 minutes you lose that third timeout. So he probably just wanted to use it before it gets under 3 minutes because you lose it. So maybe that's why he used it right there at that time. But I was really close to how the game was going to get ready to let J-Kid have it tonight, because
that's where the win is just nice, so we can kind of put that in our back pocket.
Because you see how the fourth quarter is going. We built a 9-point lead, but you see Kyrie's hot, back-to-back threes. You have Luke on the bench. And it's like, I know you want to get him back in the 6-minute mark, but it's kind of like you have to see the flow of the game. You see the momentum is going. One of their best players is getting hot. It's kind of like, okay, our bench unit kind of, held the ship down for a little bit, but you can't always wait for that 6-minute mark. Sometimes you have to put him in early. Sometimes you got to put him in at 8 minutes. Sometimes you got to put him at 7 minutes. You just got to see how the game is going. So I'm watching the game. I'm like, yo, get Luka back in the game. Because you had that last possession where Spencer tried to pass to Dodo, and it like sailed over his head. And it's like, Spencer's more of a slasher. He's not really he can't run the offense like how Luka run the offense. He's more of, head down, straight to the rack, but setting players up, that's not his forte. So I'm watching the game. I'm like, if Kid does this again, I'm gonna lose
they need to run more stuff through Wood in the fourth. There's like Wood went out. I can't remember what time he went out. I want to say it was like 5 to 6 minutes, and Wood just didn't finish with a lot of shots tonight. He's able to get his shots so easily, and the weird stuff that the Nets were doing where they were switching everything, like Wood's shots were they looked so simple, and I don't know. Spencer is so hit or miss with me because like we would be crushing him if he wasn't shooting 56% from three, because he's had kind of a weird season to date. It's been, somewhat helpful, but I'm not sure. Like it's like you described. I'm not sure if he's the playmaker they need him to be.
Right. And it's like, I'm pretty sure people, Josh Green, he did his thing. He looked good. Shot looked good. Nothing but net. The McGee experiment, I don't know. He tried to dribble between two people, turnover, and then he's like the slowest guy to get back down court. And it's like easy bucket the other way. And then he tries to inbound the ball inbounds. I'm like, yo. And I think at that point, J Kid, so I was like, okay, you only get 1 more minute for this half, and then pulled them right away and put Maxi in, and that was it for McGee. I'm like, yeah, that was good to see. Because
I've been watching a lot of first grade basketball. My son is in first grade, and watching JaVale slap the ball is how my son tries to dribble, where it's just like an open palm, like bump, and I'm like, man, you got to quit that shit. And I found myself saying that at the television too. I'm like, McGee, you got better touch than this. Stop flailing around. Oh well.
Yeah, and there's two more things. Even though Kevin Durant had 37, it didn't seem like he had 37. He seemed like everything that he worked his ass off to get. Like, so, Finney Smith and Bullock, they battled tonight because first half it was Kevin Durant playing, and then it started the overtime. They did their thing. So even though he had 37, yeah, they made some tough shots tonight. It was no easy buckets for them. So,
well, I felt like Kyrie hit everything, and then you look at the box score, and he's 14 of 31. Like, did I miss his misses? Like, he was just crushing for a while.
Yeah, that left-handed layup in the first half was like, how did he make that? I was like, wow.
Yeah, he is a wildly skilled player.
I was like, wow, that was amazing. But yeah, it's a lot. Better to go to bed with a win than
that's right.
Therapy.
All right, man. Thanks so much for stopping by.
Appreciate you. Yes, sir.
All right.
This is advertiser content brought to you by Frito-Lay.
Hello, I'm Chip Murphy, here to get you ready for the big tournament. Tonight we'll break down who will be cutting. Cut! What are you two doing?
Sorry, Chip. Prez here got his feathers ruffled when I told him Ruffles has zero chance of winning the title.
And I was letting Dip know that she is not taking into account Ruffles' iconic ridges.
Guys, it's March. We have to start talking about the tournament.
We are. It is the 2023 Frito-Lay Snack It.
We're talking about big-time matchups between Cheetos, Smart Food, Lay's, Sun Chips, and more.
Just head to the Frito-Lay Snack Bracket and vote for your favorite chip, pretzel, or dip for a chance to win up to $1,000 or a year's worth of snacks.
This sounds great. Keep up the good work.
Just go to fritolaysnackit.sbnation.com. No purchase necessary. Sweepstakes ends 4/3/2023. Void where prohibited. Year's worth of snacks awarded in the form of 52 coupons, each good for 1 bag of chips. See official rules at fritolaysnackit.sbnation.com.
Coming up next, then, we have Krishna. Welcome back, my friend. My wife gave me some tea, so hopefully I will sound less like I've smoked 4 packs.
That's good, Kirk. I want to start with a negative because I really only have one negative.
My disciple? I want to start with the negative. That's just the most Kirk fucking phrase I've heard.
I was one of those people that initially thought maybe JaVale McGee won't be terrible. I'm ready to put Dwight Powell in. I know most people don't like Dwight Powell, but I will say two things. One thing, I don't hate Dwight Powell. I'm not like a Dwight hater. I thought, he seems like a good guy. He came back from an Achilles. He's kind of been the same player. He's never been different. But one thing I've never seen anyone complain about Dwight Powell is effort and energy. And JaVale McGee has like neither of those things. It seems like he doesn't put any effort in, and he has no energy. And when you have a guy that's that tall and just lumbering, it's actually useless, and it becomes very hindering to anything the offense is doing.
He gives me the chat is like, no, never again. But the guys, I can't handle them playing drop coverage with McGee and then getting scored on like he's not even there. It's driving me nuts.
Yes, I get it. Powell will give up paint points, but Powell is in the paint. He is covering his man. He is making contests.
Well, I mean, so far he's not played it except for the blowouts.
Yeah, of course.
In the past is what.
But in the past, I get it. Yes, we get out rebounded, but we've won games where we've been out rebounded, and also McGee is not making rebounds.
Right.
Like Christian Wood and Luka are the leading rebounders for this team.
Yeah, McGee not rebounding is something they're actually going to have to address at some point because that was like the rebounding was the thing that he, defensive presence and boarding. And you look at his thing tonight, he has 3 rebounds and 3 turnovers. And like nothing pisses me off more than bigs who turn the ball over. Do you remember the DeAndre Jordan experience?
Please
we can't do that. Now, he's still going to keep playing another 10 games. Like this is how that experiment goes.
If all the I think the source was saying like J Kidd is the one who pushed for it. I'm sorry, Nico. Tell J Kidd to shut up and don't.
No, but they're a package deal. Nico's there to do what Jason Kidd wants, not the other way around.
But that is the most infuriating part. It's like I can't. Like I honestly cannot now because if we see this for more games, this is what's going to cost us games. The Mavericks are just starting horrific when JaVale is on the court. Like, I just worry more about JaVale than any other player. Like, yes, Dorian is missing shots, but like you've talked about, Dorian is just getting covered more than he's ever been covered. And, it's the same with Reggie. Like, these guys are just getting covered well. But it's not like that with JaVale. Like, he's just making bad decisions and having lack of effort, which are two things that are easily fixable and should not be happening from someone who has so many years in the league. Like, it is actually inexcusable.
Well, I understand.
That's the one thing I was furious about. But, the rest of it I was very happy, and I got to say it. Shout out to Rolo. We're on Josh Green Island. Josh Green Island stocks are rising, baby. Let's go.
He played a great game. I yelled at my buddy Josh who got mad at me about my criticism of that foul. But it's like he played a good game.
He was good.
I yelled at 2 or 3 people because I get tired of the Make-A-Wish treatment of Josh Green. Like it's okay to say mean things about him. But he played well tonight. He played real well tonight.
Look, I'm not going to sit here and say Josh Green has been the immaculate player. Of course not. But I always felt like it was just purely confidence. It was never about ability. And like seeing him get that offensive rebound, which was great, make that pass to Luka, which was great, just shoot open threes. Like shooting the open threes reminded me of Dorian in a way, where Dorian, when he was just so wide open, would shoot threes, even though Rick would be like, "Don't shoot unless you're open." It was good. Like it was good to see. And honestly, I know everyone's talking about Wood replacing McGee. I think Wood will obviously get more minutes. You cut McGee's minutes down by giving them to like Josh, or even like if Frank comes back healthy, like Frank or Davis, because like I cannot stand McGee anymore. But Josh was good. That was exciting. It was good to see Tim make shots. That's always really good. And I think overall it was frustrating, but the things that were good were the defense, which we just haven't seen. I thought the defense was still pretty good overall for the most part, though honestly they got their butts saved by so many open misses.
Yeah, a lot of the Mavs shot 50% from 3 and the Nets did not shoot.
Yeah, it was insane. And sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. So
I will take it every time.
So,
I wanted to win because I don't want to talk about things. I don't want to harp on the things that aren't going to go away in a series of games. So
for sure.
Instead of talk like when you talk about solutions to problems during wins, it feels a lot better than bitching solely about the problems during losses.
Exactly, because there has this like positive feeling, like okay, you got away with it, and like I get it. I know there's going to be people out there like Luka, what are you doing at the end of the game? But it happened, and like
I'll tell you, Ben is so good at defense on Luka.
Like
I think Luka constantly misjudges his wingspan.
Yeah, I mean, people forget, like, Ben Simmons, yes, he's not a good offensive player in terms of attacking the rim, like, using his talent. He was an all-NBA defender for a reason. Like, he's a good defender. He's led the league in steals. Like, he's not a bad defender by any sense of the word. And I do wish, like, sometimes, like, I think Yuta Watanabe was out there, like, a ton, and I was like, why are you just not attacking this guy? He's on 5 fouls. But, you know, overtime was awesome. Like, there was smart decisions, guys just taking shots, and obviously making them was even better. But, you know, like the inbound, like Hardaway making a cut instead of jacking up some horrible shot, like smarter decisions in OT was what I thought was good. And
not heating threes.
Exactly. It was just smart decisions. Like, okay, you don't just give Luka the ball at the end of the shot clock. It's okay, I'm going to move a little bit, or I make a cut. You know, it was just smart, and that's what was a lot more positive. And my only worry is like this team is having to like chug into these kind of games, like the Pelicans and now the Nets. And I wonder, like you said, maybe having a little bit less rest and having to, you know, come back and play quicker. That seems to help this team. For some reason, when this team has to play in a few more games in a row and get a rhythm, they just do better. And there's obviously a greater stretch of games, but good night, and hope everyone has one because that was a great win.
Outstanding, man. Thanks so much for hanging out. Talk soon.
Thank you.
All right. Got a few more folks, and then we'll call it a night. Nav, welcome back. What's going on?
Hey, how are you doing?
I'm doing all right. Thanks for joining us again.
Yeah, absolutely.
Come a little closer. You're fading away.
Oh, sorry.
There
Can
we
you hear
go.
me now? All right. So obviously happy we got the win, just like everybody else. I guess my thing is just being it's positive that given the fact what happened in Phoenix and what happened against New Orleans, that we had a lead in the fourth quarter, and then when they came back and took over the lead, Brooklyn did tonight, the fact that they rallied and were able to come back, really happy about that. I feel like maybe, you know, add some confidence may have been a negative thing having that happen, going 1-3 and everything. So obviously those are all positive. Right. It's just looking forward, you know, to what's happening. I don't know. It's just hard for me to not always look at the bigger perspective on the team, where it's like thinking about not playing our second best player, Christian Wood, you know, not having another ball handler and everything. Luka taking on so much so early, you know, and just it feels like he has to be Superman always. And if he's not, we have no chance. And it's like Christian Wood's there, like try and use him. It's just frustrating where it's like the rotations and everything. I'm sorry, we got to win. I'm not trying to be.
No, I understand because they nearly lost the same way they lost the other two games.
Yeah, and it's frustrating, like sitting here and it's like obviously the coaches and everybody, they know more than me. It's just frustrating where it's like it doesn't seem really complicated when it's like you should play your best players more minutes than your bad players.
Yeah. Well, there's sticking to the process, and then there's being just obscenely obtuse. And I suspect had the Mavericks fallen tonight, we would have seen some changes at some point. But instead they pull out. They're 2-2, and they have I don't want to say it's an easy schedule because I said this before. I think it's just littered with trap games, but I also think these could be games where they just crush teams because they're so good. So hopefully we get some of that, and then, you know, they get into a good vibe.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I guess from my perspective, it just gets frustrating when it's like you're sitting here, you're watching your team, and you don't feel like they're putting out their best product based on the rotations and the minutes. And it's like so it's like if we lose because we don't have any, because our team isn't that great, fine. But it's like, it feels like when I'm watching it and I'm like, why is Facu Campazzo playing over James Harden? Like, why is Christian Wood only, playing less than 30 minutes in the game why is Luka carrying such a heavy burden? What are we doing with Tim Hardaway Jr. and Spencer Dinwiddie? I don't know. It just it doesn't feel like we're putting our best foot forward and like actually presenting the best version of the team that we currently have. And I guess that just gets frustrating. And then we, things pile up like like we saw with Phoenix and New Orleans, and now tonight, like the fact that we bounced back tonight was huge, but it just kind of gets frustrating when it's like, it just doesn't seem.
If you're looking at the game over the long term, like you said, you want to try to, there's an element of trying to play your best ball at the right time. And we've seen them go 2-2 while having a lot of kind of straightforward things we all think they could change, and I think they may at some point, because I know, there's you said we're not coaches, we're not GMs, we don't know everything, but at the same time, basketball is a bit of a straightforward game. We all have eyes, and so there's some things that they could do differently, but I appreciate the commitment to a plan and then sticking with the plan to learn what you can. I think that the Mavericks are going to be a pretty good team in spite of some of these kind of glaringly obvious problems that we keep referring to, because Luka Doncic is just that good. Now, this was the argument in the offseason where it's like, well, it's not fair to Luka to expect this much of him. I don't think he minds. I think he might eventually, but the man wants the ball in his hands all the time. If he could go win a scoring title, I think he'd probably say it doesn't matter to him because he has so many other things that do matter to him. I also think that he wouldn't mind it. Do you know what I mean?
No, that makes sense. I guess it's not that I think he would mind it. It's just I feel like we rely on him so much at the beginning of games that at the end of games, it's kind of like...
Oh, he's been statistically, we've seen it. He's been tired. And tonight was the first time where he actually looked good.
Right. And then, luckily our guys were making shots, in the overtime. It's just long-term, just thinking. I had one thing I was going to see your thoughts on it, because we keep talking about like a third shot creator, a third ball handler, a third somebody. I was wondering, like, with the Tim Hardaway Jr. role, or like that other role, what if we went the opposite way and you added another person that maybe just made the defense way better? Like, I think I saw you on Twitter mention like a Caruso, or like, I don't even know if it's possible for.
Oh, I'm lusty about Caruso.
Right. But like a Lou Dort, like how much, like, I'm wondering, like if you're able to get, I don't know, this is just maybe me just being like a crazy fan that's throwing out unrealistic ideas, but it's like, if you add Jordan Clarkson and Alex Caruso, like, I feel like that gets us way closer to being contenders than currently constructed. I don't know if it's possible to do it.
Well, I mean, what you're really describing there is just having more better players, because, there's an element of, as much as we all want Josh Green to succeed, I'm sorry if you're hearing noise in the background, puppy is drinking water. As much as we want Josh Green to succeed, he's not proven it yet. So you're describing basically what could happen if the Mavericks could go 11 deep for real. And that's something I suspect they try to figure out if they can this offseason. I mean, not this offseason, during the season, but they just don't have much they can give up.
Yeah. Well, so I guess my only thought with that, and I'm sorry, I'm maybe diverting the conversation. Okay. It's like, I don't know, the way I see it is I feel like Christian Wood, it can be like a legit second guy. And with Luka, if we, eventually get him to starting, and then if you're able to trade like a first round pick for Jordan Clarkson, a first round pick for somebody.
I don't think they will ever do that. I don't think they will trade any first rounders for anything because of what they owe. They owe the Knicks the pick this year. And then and so it's like that just screws so much. Because it means you'd be trading another future first. And I think they're trying to get all their assets in a row for something.
See, and I guess my whole thing is, I wonder if we're closer to being contenders. Maybe
sure.
not.
Is now the time?
By getting
the time to go for it,
right?
Yeah, I can see that
with above average, solid role players to fill the gaps, as opposed to saving those assets for a future second all-star or fringe all-star.
Yeah, I just don't know. That's an interesting thought, is what I'll say.
Yeah. But okay, well, I appreciate you doing these and everything, and great win and everything, bounce back. It's just, hopefully we can just put our best lineups out there and see the best version of the team. I still don't feel like we've seen the best version of the team based on
for sure. I understand
everything that's out there.
All right, thanks so much. All right, give me 15 seconds, guys. The puppy is relentlessly ringing the back doorbell. I'll be right back. Come here. Go. Man, I love dogs. I opened the dang thing, and now she's just looking at the door. This is just, the best. This is top quality audio content. Sorry about that, guys. Okay, coming up next is Tyron. How we doing? Welcome.
Hey, can you hear me, Kirk?
I can, yes. Thank you.
All right, cool. Yeah, sorry, I sound like shit. I've been
too.
sick for the last couple of days. That time of year, man. Nav actually brought up a very interesting point and got me kind of thinking. Once we get done with all the previous crap that set us back as far as trading and all that kind of stuff goes, I'm curious what players would be interested in coming to Dallas. But I mean, we can't really speak on that because who knows. Anyway, I was first of all, I wanted to say I'm glad that we got the win tonight. However, I was so frustrated because of the turnovers and free throws. We've got to fix that and get that in check ASAP.
Turnovers. So Josh talked about this in our post-game podcast. They really haven't had turnover problems in the losses other than they came in bunches in the other two losses. Tonight, they had 17 turnovers, and there were some sloppy ones. That.
Yeah, I mean, it was just ugly. But the fact that we had 17 turnovers and we were able to, I'm not gonna say contain, but just come out with the win against the Brooklyn Nets. I mean, despite their record, they have some serious talent on that team, and despite the fact we had 17 turnovers, missing free throws, I mean, we're still looking pretty dang good going into the season.
So they shot 77% from the line, so 27 to 35. You had Green miss one, you had Wood miss one. The Bullock and the Bullock won in overtime. I know that one really was not.
Yeah.
It's the ones when they miss them when it matters and you're like, oh no, I hate those. But I understand what you mean. The free throw stuff is just, it kills me. It always has.
It just sucks. I probably can't hit the broadside of a barn anymore, but I mean, when you're doing step back 3-pointers in somebody's face that's down there 7 feet tall, you can't hit a free throw. It's frustrating.
Right. I understand.
But that's all I have, man. Go Mavs.
All right. Thanks for hanging out tonight. Appreciate you. All right. We got 2 more folks, then we're going to go. Jacob, what's up?
Hey, what's up, Kirk? I'm doing all right. Feels like it's been a while.
It has.
But, yeah. I'm just happy to do it after a win,
right.
though.
That's right. So what are you thinking of that?
Yeah, well, actually, a lot of what I was prepared to say is kind of what Tyron was just saying. In a vacuum, I think it's a solid win. It's against a Nets team, who I actually think, despite a lot of what the pontificators are saying, even if they don't have credentials, they don't think that the Nets are going to be doing much this year. But I mean, if you still have a team with if you have a team with KD on it who's still that dude, and Kyrie, I think they're going to be all right. But the devil's advocate in me says we had to win. We still needed overtime to win, despite a lot going in our favor, shooting over 50% from three. The Nets being on the second night of a back-to-back and them missing three rotational players, and Luka just going supernova and there in the third quarter and just having an amazing game. But again, it was a win. We at least washed out that dirty feeling of those two losses. So whatever. But I think you just can't get you can't expect to fly too close to the sun and be okay. Even though hopefully we'll be able to stack up wins here, with our schedule. I know you said they're trap games, but you can't hemorrhage turnovers like we do and play kind of suspect at best defense and then lose them. And then when it gets later in the season, hoping or wishing that, one or two of those games would have gone differently, as far as seeding goes.
That's right.
So, yeah, that's just kind of where I'm at. The rotation's kind of weird still, especially with Wood. I don't know how long kid's going to keep up this McGee thing because, man, he pissed me off tonight a couple times with those turnovers. I forget if it was in the second quarter or not, but he came around a screen and he was past the ball we were setting up, I don't know, Kevin Durant for a little jumper at the free throw line or on the elbow or something like that, and he just fumbled the ball like a gangly, uncoordinated giraffe, and it just was maddening. So I don't know how long kid plans to keep starting McGee. I know he was promised the starting role and whatnot, but at some point it's come on, man. I'd rather you try and dominate other team second units.
Well, he's got to start bringing something to the table that we thought he would bring. And today, It's none of the easy lobs that everybody doesn't like Dwight Powell. I get it, but Powell got easy lobs. He would finish the lobs. I'm not seeing it from.
Yeah, I think I've only seen him finish one lob so far this season.
I'm sure he's done more, but it's it feels bad, and it's it never felt this gross with Powell, except for the defensive stuff. Now he's being big and he's existing, but it's the Mavs have had to play drop coverage with McGee because McGee is not as mobile as people seem to think he is. He looks an awful lot like Willie Cauley-Stein and DeAndre Jordan.
Oh man, I didn't want to hear that. I didn't want to have to hear that. No, but like you said, he's not even bringing any of the stuff that I thought. Okay, I'm kind of indifferent on signing him, but at the very least, he should provide rebounding and an interior presence, rim protection and whatnot. But it doesn't even feel like he's doing that. So even if you start Wood, and I know you've seen the stat, Luka and Wood are the top two players in PER. I mean, come on, even if Wood's defense is suspect at best as well, I can live with that.
Yeah. So I actually thought he's been not terrible. I mean, I don't know. I could be wrong.
No, he got over on defense a couple, especially in the Memphis game. That was a game where I thought, okay, this team defense is going to be fine even with Wood out there.
Yeah.
But it just hasn't looked all that great past two games.
Right.
So. Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, well, thanks for hanging out tonight.
Yeah, no problem. I'll sit down and let someone else hack it. You have a good night.
You too, buddy. Our last man, 808 and Heartbreak. What's happening?
Wow, man. Say the best for last. I like that. I appreciate it.
That's right. I did. I hope you didn't. I appreciate you waiting around, but I figured
Look, of course, I'd have nothing else better to do by time. That's not sarcasm.
It's 11:11. It's early in the evening. We're okay.
Right? Everybody said a lot of good stuff. Pretty much what I was going to say. But if I told you the Mavs are 2-2 after Doe and Reggie combined for 16 in the first game, 15 in the second game, I think we were talking about it the other day. They had 8 points combined against the Pelicans, and then they had 16 tonight, I think, combined. Would you believe that they were 500?
No. I would. Dorian, over the long haul, his sort of shooting and scoring has really correlated with the Mavericks wins, and they're going to have to find a way to help him get easier baskets. He's missed some shots tonight, but I would have thought it'd be worse. I did kind of, I think everybody kind of knew Luka was going to have a nuts season, but, I was in my head sort of thinking 30 points a game, not 35. So he's looked great.
Yeah. And I'm not really worried because, again, like we're 4 games into the season. It's a marathon, not a sprint. But we're not going to call for any of these dudes' positions, man. Like, Josh Green had a great game. Tonight was actually the 10th time in his career that he scored more than 10 points. So, and I get that. It was cool, but we're not starting Josh Green.
No, but I mean, it's like if he's going to be in the game and he's going to take shots, I will feel better about it because it's the lack of shot taking. You know, I'll bitch about the shots if they don't go in. I'm not going to lie to people, but I'm going to bitch even more if he doesn't look at the rim.
No, of course. Like, we know a couple of guys that have come through the D and not have taken any shots. Just sit there and just, wait for Luka to give them the ball. I think another thing that really plays into at least Doe and his, production is the fact that he can't really make a three if his feet aren't set. I think SJ said that a couple of days ago.
Yeah.
But I was going through games last season and just a couple games that they played this year, and if he doesn't have both feet on the ground, like it's not going in. But other than that, like, I don't know, we gotta raise the flags and just relax, man. It could be a lot worse.
Well, if
trust me.
if they lose to the Thunder on Saturday, I will classify that as a lot worse. I'm just preparing people because I don't want to fucking lose it.
Yeah, I can only name like 2 guys starting right now for the Thunder, and if they lose to them,
the guy from Dune, and is SGA even playing? God, I love watching that guy play.
Is he? Yeah, I love watching him play too, but the guy is never healthy.
Yeah. Well, I think they hold him out a lot. I really do. There's a lot of incentivization of him of keeping him out of games. So I don't know. Mavs Draft says SGA got benched to start the second half tonight. Ooh, fancy.
Oh.
Thunder just trying shit, Gotta love that team.
I feel like they've been trying shit for the last 7 years.
Yes. Yeah. I mean they're gonna be fun one day. It just might not be in our lifetime.
Jesus Christ, I'm only 25, so that's gonna be a long time.
Look, man, the Kings haven't made the playoffs since like Ronald Reagan was president. So shit, like when shit goes bad for teams, it goes real bad.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. That.
What else you got for us, friend?
And that's about it, man. You can't really brag or get too upset about a W, especially over the Nets. Like, I know they're ass right now, but you still got some really good talent over there.
I love it personally. All right, let's get on out of Dodge. Thanks so much for hanging out. All right.
Yes, sir. Enjoy your night. All right.
All right. Oh wait, we got one more person. Logan, go to bed. What are you doing up?
Hey, give me 1 second. Sorry about that.
Oh, you're all right.
You're gonna be on that soon. How you doing?
I don't know. I sound terrible.
What, are you sick?
I feel like I've been sick since the Mavs started preseason ball. Like, just kind of sick, and I cannot shake it. I cannot shake it. I felt really good one day and went to an Orange Theory class. And it was like a great workout, and then I woke up the next day like just dying of plague. It's not been fun. Oh well.
Oh, and then you went to
my high school reunion. Yeah, I had a little too much fun at that.
It didn't help. I don't know. I'm having a hard time getting a hold of this team right now. It's like kind of like I don't feel like any of the games have. They've all like revealed like puzzle pieces, and then it's a small sample, so those puzzle pieces don't even fit as like any one resounding thing, because the Memphis one was a blowout off a back-to-back. This was a back-to-back, but I feel like the Nets were like, we are not losing another effing game, so it was kind of like balanced out as far as what you were getting from them. But yeah, I don't know, like, I mean, Josh Green played better. There was like little things that looked better and little things that were still concerning. So I feel like we're just going to have to like, it's so easy to make. Plus I've been watching football where like every game is Titanic.
That's your sample. Yeah. Yeah. Well, and that's sort of what I led with in the show, where I said, I thought, Luka Doncic good at basketball, really, really, amazing comment from me. That's what people come here for. And then I thought Josh Green played well. That was pretty much the only things I could think to take away, because everything else about the game was bizarre. And I'm glad the Mavericks won. And that's kind of what I'm much, they're seeing stuff. They're collecting as much data as they can. The first 20 games the Mavericks played last year were nothing like the final 20 games they played last year with the lineups they go. So there's things that they're learning and figuring out. And it's nice to see Tim Hardaway hit some shots, but that's kind of all I got.
Yeah, that was like, I was saying I didn't know about like the process of him playing, but then he made the shots, and it's like if he's going to play, that's what he's playing for, is to make the shots. And it's like, it's all so fluid, like the same way it's fluid to us, where we're like, I don't really know what to take away from this. It's like they don't really either until they look at it, and there's like 3 more games to see how it plays out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
the thing that I don't understand is what they want Wood's role to be.
Yeah.
And I also wish they would run more Luka Wood stuff. That's pretty much what I got.
Yeah, that's basically where I'm at, just because, well, the Christian Wood, so someone was talking about how Zion, like people think of gravity, they think of shooters, they think of like people like Luka who create all the offense, but people were talking about Zion's gravity, and like basically anyone who's a threat to score and has a lot of they can do has gravity, and I think Christian Wood has one. And we don't have enough talent for Luka to be just the entire gravitational pull. So you have to have them both together. You know what I mean? Like more, I feel like people are like, well, I feel like you can have 2 of Spencer, Luka, and Wood out there at all times if you get the rotations right. Because people have said, well, then Spencer will be doing a lot by himself. But like, there's got to be a way.
I trust Wood's decision making more than Spencer's at certain points.
That's not a crazy statement either.
I mean, these are all nitpicks at this point until they go through, like, if they were to, they lose 2 games by 4 total points. If they go through like an extended rough patch, or, if Luka gets hurt, this all goes sideways. Like there's no, like, Luka is the plane. So that's part of why I'm not terribly concerned about the short. It's just like the process it's like when things look ugly, they look really ugly for this team. And
it was that way last year, though. And then all of a sudden, it kind of just clicked. I feel like we don't look that organized, and at the Mavs' best, they seem very like, this is the plan. We either miss shots or make them, but we're getting good shots and like keeping the other team from getting good shots. And it doesn't feel that way right now. It feels way more sporadic. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I was going to say, because I thought you'd enjoy this, that Luka tonight, he has all these different modes. And tonight, he reminded me of a supervillain where it was like, is he really just here for the spectacle? Like, I don't know if he's wants to win or lose or what. Like, he went after Ben Simmons 3 times. He cooked him twice, did a behind the back pass, then turned it over after dribbling.
Like, threw it to him.
Yeah.
Like, relatively.
And then I saw him when they went to like the half court, and like they kind of met in the middle, and Luka was smiling at him, and it was like you could tell he was hat tipping him. And I was just like, it's almost like he turns into like a Tarantino villain sometimes, where it's like he's just here for the spectacle. Like he's
100%.
Literally just having fun.
100%. There is precisely one player in the league right now who I think has challenged him in a way that he hasn't met them in the same place, and that's Kawhi. Because Kawhi in Game 6 of that series was just frightening in a way that I will never be able to contextualize. But every other superstar, I think he really, really loves going at. And I think he likes going at Kawhi too. It's just Kawhi is a scary cyborg. Like,
yeah,
he tends to him and Kyrie were cracking up at halftime, right when he made that when the shot got waved off from Kyrie. Like, he loves that stuff, and that's part of what makes him really fun to
There's
watch.
just no one more mercurial than Kyrie either. Like he had 4 steals and 3 blocks tonight. I was just like, what the hell? He was just on one, but that's like the Kyrie experience. Is he's absolutely terrifying sometimes, and other times you're like, oh, they have that guy, we'll win, because he's like,
he's not here tonight.
Yeah. He'll decide he's going to guard Luka. Like, he literally will do stuff that crazy, and you're like, oh, we're going to win tonight.
Somebody said something in the chat earlier. I need to find like the post game pressers where it's like, what do you expect me to do against Luka? And he did a lot of like trying to guard Luka. Like, what is up with him? He's such a
weirdo. Yeah. But I don't know. I feel like game's coming up. We just have to wait till we can like get on here and be like, this is what's happening. Because right now, I feel like even Kidd is making it fluid, and that's frustrating the hell out of me. But it doesn't really seem like, I mean, Nash isn't the best example because has a lot of question marks, but they were doing a lot of fluid shit where I was like, well, that's kind of weird. And then it's kind of been that way for every game for the other teams too. So, you know what I mean?
I do. Well, thanks for hanging out. I think I'm going to go to bed.
Same here. Talk to you soon.
All right. Talk later, buddy. Okay, guys, be good. Join me again on Saturday night. Look for stuff on Mavs Moneyball. Everybody be good to enjoy your Friday or your Saturday, depending on when you're listening to this. Have a good one, guys.